Hi there, Steve Kaufman here. I guess I'm day 10 into my Korean challenge. Today I want to talk about two things. One is distractions, and the other is how I'm dealing with the difficulties of Korean using translations. Distractions. First of all, I apologize. No video on Saturday or Sunday because, as I mentioned before, my grandson is playing hockey over on Vancouver Island. And it's an opportunity to get over there, see him, and then play golf over there because, as you may know, once we get into the end of September, October here, it starts to rain. And my wife is going to have a bunion operation, and she'll be kind of unable to play golf for quite a long time, so we're getting in as many golf games as we can before that operation. Her operation is on Friday. With that, playing golf, watching hockey, traveling, whatever, didn't really get much of a chance to do a video. I did study, however, and that's the important thing. There's always distractions. But because I'm able to do it on my iPad and even on my iPhone, I'm able to find even a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do a bit of reading and listening. However, one of the problems with Korean for me is that the structure is quite different from quite different from European languages, but even different from Japanese, although there are similarities. And so very often I know the words and I still can't really get a good sense of what the meaning is. And even though I'm not normally a big fan of translations, I am finding that for the more difficult content that I'm trying to learn from now, translations are helpful. So you may know I've mentioned that I enjoy listening to Kim Young-ha, who is a Korean writer who has a very pleasant voice and who has a podcast. And I kind of understand him when he speaks about a certain writer, but when he reads from the text, I tend to get lost in a hurry. So it so happens, I think I may have mentioned this, that in lessons 22 and 23 at length, because we had some of his podcasts transcribed and imported as lessons. In lesson 22, he talks about Franz Kafka, and that part of it is more easily understood by me. But then he starts to read from The Trial by Franz Kafka, and that then becomes more difficult. So I went online and found the English text of The Trial by Franz Kafka. I imported that as a translation into the lesson, so anyone who follows me to that lesson will see the translation there. And what's more, because I bring the translation in to link, I can actually separate it into individual sentences, or sometimes if they're short, 2 sentences at a time, because very often when we find the text online, it's all grouped together, and then it's difficult to find where you are. So I've gone through now for parts 1 and 2 of lesson 23, which is The Trial by Franz Kafka, where I have the audio read by Kim Young-ha, who has a great voice. And I've gone through and saved words and phrases, still struggling to really understand what they're talking about. So now I can go in and line by line compare the Korean to the English. And I'm doing it with The Trial, which I haven't read before, by Franz Kafka. So I think the idea, first of all, the fact that it's a translated book from the original German makes it probably a little easier than something written originally in Korean, insofar as literature is concerned. Second of all, the fact that I'm able to break it up now, line by line, makes it easier for me. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'll be demonstrating some of that at a later date. Demonstrating how I use that link. One other thing, talking distractions, I have agreed now to do a webinar in German. And so I now have to prepare a presentation in German about language learning and link and so forth and so on. So that's going to be a distraction. That'll be on the 28th at 10 o'clock Vancouver time, which I think is 10 o'clock in the morning Vancouver time, 9 in the evening, or was it 7? I don't know. I will provide more information about this. So there are always distractions. And then I have my hockey tournament coming up, and of course my wife's going to have this operation, so I've got to be looking after her. There's always distractions. But if we are committed, as I am, 10 days into my 90-day challenge, I've just got to stay with it, stay the course. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.